So how many of you still use the old and default version of the Photoshop toolbar? Let's change it today. Hey, what's up guys, Falconer here, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can create your custom toolbar according to your needs. You may have wondered many times that why these tools even exist in the Photoshop toolbar. So let me just show you some examples. Alright, so we are into Photoshop right now, and you can see a bunch of tools right here. So this honestly is not my Photoshop toolbar. This is the default toolbar that Photoshop gives you. And if you want to press quick selection tool, let's see that if you want to select something in this photo, you can easily get that with color range or something like that. But if you want to select something in this photo with quick selection tool, what would you press? You would press W for the quick selection tool. But instead of quick selection tool, magic wand tools comes out. But we have to double click on this or right click on it, and then go to the quick selection tool and then select whatever we want to select. But you don't want that to happen. There are a bunch of tools which you won't even use in everyday use. So right here, the history brush tool, the art history brush tool, who even uses them? Who uses the path selection and direct selection tool? Honestly, I don't. It depends on your workflow that what do you use. So let's create a custom toolbar for you. Alright, so now you can see there are these three dots in here. Just right click on it and hit edit toolbar. It will bring up this customized toolbar for you, customized toolbar panel for you. And first of all, just start removing everything that you don't need. So going up from the first two groups, that is move tool, artboard tool, rectangular marquee tool, all that stuff. Honestly, I don't use the artboard tool, so just throw it away in the extra tool. I don't use the single column marquee tool. I don't use the single row marquee tool. I don't use both of them. I honestly don't use the magnetic lasso tool. I use only polygon and lasso tool. I rarely use the object selection tool. You can use the select subject instead. Then these both could be there because I mostly use them. I rarely use the crop tool. I rarely use the perspective crop tool. I rarely use the slice tool, and I rarely use all of these. I don't use crop tool at all. And frame tool could be helpful to you if you're into magazine designing or something, but not for me. Next, eyedropper tool. I don't use the 3D material eyedropper tool. If you're into 3D designing, it might be useful for you, so you can keep that if according to your needs. Now just remove everything that you don't need, so let me just quickly do that. And honestly, you don't even need the eyedropper tool because you can always press I to get the eyedropper tool. And yep, I don't use the content aware move tool. Who uses red eye tool in 2020? I use most of these. I don't use color replacement tool. I don't use mixer brush tool. I don't use pencil tool. I don't use pattern stamp tool. I don't use the full group of this. I do not use the magic eraser. I do not use the background eraser. And the 3D material paint bucket. You can just press command backspace or control delete if you wanna fill up the whole thing. Blur tool, sharpen tool, smudge tool. I honestly don't use all of them. Then I don't use all of these two. You can easily use dodging and burning with a 50% gray layer. And I don't use most of these. I just use the pen tool. So let me just remove all of these and keep only the pen tool. Horizontal type tool is honestly the only one I use. Other all I don't use. This whole group I don't use it. These all we can keep it. It might be useful someday. And all of this again, no one uses them. Zoom tool, I don't think anyone uses it. or maybe people do, so let's just keep it in here. Now you can see that we have removed a bunch of tools from the toolbar which were not at all useful. So according to your needs, you have to remove the tools which are not at all useful for you. So make sure you do that, and let's go to the next step. So the next step is quickly come in this area and ungroup everything. Remove everything from their respective groups so that we have many tools in our uh, toolbar and they're easily accessible. But you can leave these because they are rarely used. The rectangular, rounded rectangle, ellipse tool, polygon tool, you can leave them as it is because you don't want too much space to be filled in your toolbar. And the next thing is arrange the tools according to your priority. So the tools which you use the most will go up and the tools which you use the least will go down. So arrange it according to your priority. So let me just quickly do that. And now I honestly use magic wand tool and the quick selection tool more than everything. And make sure that they're in some sort of a group. Like if you want to find selection tool, they would be in this area of your toolbar. You don't have to think for it that where would the selection tools would be. So just quickly accessible and kind of grouping them but in a different way. So now let's go more down and try to find some similar tools. I'll keep the pen tool up because I use it more often, and I'll keep it above the lasso tool or maybe below the lasso tool, and these all can be here. The clone stamp tool would be above the brush tool because the clone stamp tool is going to be used side by side with spot healing brush tool and the healing brush tool, so you know how it's working. And now you can see I have separated all of them, and that's it. You have your dream toolbar. Now this is a toolbar that you're going to be using for the rest of your Photoshop experience, or you might change it in a while, depends on how you want to use it. But now look over here. You don't need all of these three. You can quickly toggle the quick mask with the Q key, and these all are, this is needed, the color swatch, and this is also needed, the edit toolbar option. If you want to someday edit the toolbar again, then this is what you're going to be needing. And disable shortcut for hidden toolbar, that honestly doesn't matter if you don't use these tools at all. But if you use some of them but don't use them that often, then make sure that this is not checked. So like if you want to go on to the eyedropper tool, you would press I, but because you have disabled the shortcut for the hidden toolbar, it just wouldn't show up. So make sure that you haven't disabled it, and you're all done. Now you can just save it. For any reason Photoshop crashes or something happens, so for saving it you need to go over here in the save preset option and click on it once and just name it as per your liking. So I'll name it the dream toolbar, and just save it, and you're all done. The toolbar is saved. You have your dream toolbar now, and look at it, how easily is it accessible. Everything is so easy to access. Now if I don't want this bright star over here, I don't have to double click on the spot healing brush tool and then go for the patch tool and select it one time and then do it. I don't have to do any of that. I can just come over here and use the patch tool. So that was it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel to grow, and also like the video if you enjoyed it. It would really help push the video up, do it for the YouTube algorithm. And if you have any suggestions for the channel, you can comment down below in the comment section. And if you want to interact with the community and find more awesome people like you, join the Discord. The link is in the description. I'll meet you with another live stream or another Photoshop tutorial or any video. Till then, peace out. Bye.